Well, I'm from Fort Wayne, and we used to always come down here and admire all the chalk art. And I've always drawn and painted and all that. And all my friends and family was like, you need to do that. And I was just always hesitant to do it just because, you're working in front of people and I didn't want to fail. So eventually we were in Indianapolis and they were having a small chalk art festival there, and me and my daughter joined it and we did it, and we had a great time. We was hooked. And then when this one rolled around, we signed up for it, and we've been doing that. So this is like our third year. I guess it's just kind of addicting. If you like to crawl around on the ground and endure the heat or sometimes rain, the elements is what makes it interesting, which is something I like. I like the physical aspect of art. Outside is where I want to be. I really don't want to be inside sketching something, so I just thought, well, chalk festivals is perfect. I mean, you kind of got to be physically able to crawl around on the ground. It's hard on your knees, and it's definitely filthy. I mean, look at me. I'm a mess. Normally not this dirty, but at the end of the day, you feel like a truck ran over you. But I don't know what. It's just something I like. I like the physical aspect of doing chalk art in these festivals. Some days are, it can turn into a 12-hour day. And you kind of get lost in the piece, and you lose track of time. And next thing you know, it's 6-7 o'clock at night when you started at 7 o'clock in the morning. I wish my normal job was like that, where I get lost in time. I guess when you love something, you just don't care about the clock. For me, I like the pop culture stuff. When I know there's going to be a chalk festival, I'm like, what can I do? So I come up with a subject matter. For example, this one from The Karate Kid. Then I'll find me an image, usually off of the internet, and I will save that image and doctor it up in Photoshop. Kind of, mess with the colors, and because I don't want it to look like a photograph, but I want it to be kind of realistic. When it comes time to put it on pavement, I use the tempera paint, and I paint the background. I like to use black because the colors pop. And therefore I need a grid because it's so big, it's easy to get confused on the perspective of the drawing, so I'll lay the grid out in Photoshop. For example, this one's 8 foot by 8 foot, so when I'm laying out the grid, it's 1 foot increments. So I got 8 lines, and put it over your image and print it out, and you got something like this with the lines, and you just kind of draw it out. to use the grid, I mean, it's basically just so you don't have some funky looking weird perspective, because you're right in front of it, you know, and then you step back and it's kind of skewed, so that's where the grid comes in. And then you just start drawing. You sketch it out, and you know, hopefully at the end of the sketch you got something, you know, you can work with. The coloring's my favorite part. That's where it comes to life. Kind of how I do this is, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm kind of scratching it a little bit, and then I'll just take my glove and just kind of push it down into the pavement. It gives it a little softer look. It doesn't look so sketchy, I guess. It almost has an airbrush quality to it. And that's my technique. I mean, everybody's got a different technique, but I just do what feels right. I mean, that's what I love about art, is the freedom. I just like to be able just to create and make it my own. This is kind of what sets it apart for me, is doing the background, making the image pop out. Yeah, another thing is, this is not a permanent piece. It's going to be washed away as soon as it rains. So there's another challenge. It's not like something that you can keep. Basically, I mean, you are just making it for the moment, and next week it'll probably be gone if it rains and storms, which, you know, I'm fine with. Today's technology, we have cell phones and picture taking capability, and social media to post everything, and so it's really never gone. You can't touch it, but it's still there, and I'm fine with it. It's not taking up space, you know. You can just walk away from it and be happy. A lot of times I don't have the right color I'm looking for, so I kind of have to make it. And you know, that sounds weird. How are you going to make a piece of chalk? Well, you just kind of scribble a little bit, and then you put a little bit on there, and then you just kind of rub it around, and then after, you know, a little bit of experimenting, you might have a tone that you're looking for. And I do that a lot. That's a lot of my process, is trying to find the right tone. Another challenge, you know, to doing these festivals is when you go to them, you really don't know, unless you've been there before, of what the surface is going to be like. Like, I got this crack here, which is not bad. I was a little concerned that I might have a spot that had a piece of street patch or something, and then I would have had to do something different, but I lucked out. So that's another challenge to doing something like this, is the surface. I mean, I've done surfaces where it was really, really rough, and it was just almost impossible to do anything. I don't know if you've noticed, but the fly is really huge.
Yeah.
And I did that on purpose, just because I wanted to make the fly the kind of the focus of the piece. And that's the thing, you know, I wasn't really planning on doing it that way until I did it. And I kind of like the way it turned out. That's what I like about it. There's really no rules, you just do it. If you don't like it, then you just redo it. It's really never wrong. It's just, you know, whatever looks good to your eyes. I guess I'm gonna call it done. And then the date. And there it is.
For more information, visit jeffpilkington.com.
Arts in Focus on PBS Fort Wayne is funded in part by